Good morning, brothers and sisters. Overstressed Americans are increasingly turning to various forms of Eastern meditation, particularly yoga, in search of relaxation and spirituality. Underlying these meditative practices, however, is a worldview in conflict with biblical spirituality, though many Christians are practicing yoga. Many Eastern religions teach that the source of salvation is found within and that the fundamental human problem is not sin against a holy God, but ignorance of our true condition. These worldviews advocate meditation and higher forms of consciousness as a way to discover a secret inner divinity. Yoga, deeply rooted in Hinduism, essentially means to be yoked with the divine. Yogic postures, breathing, and chanting were originally designed not to bring better physical health and well-being, Western marketing to the contrary, but a sense of oneness with Brahman, the Hindu word for the absolute being that pervades all things. This is pantheism, all is divine, but not Christianity. A New York Times article reports on the newest growing activity to make people feel more peaceful and less stressed: breathwork. Long a key part of meditation and some kinds of yoga, breathwork is now becoming a discipline in its own right, with its proponents offering classes, one-on-one sessions, and apps dedicated to the practice. So what is breathwork? According to the mindbodyandgreen.com website, breathwork is the active form of consciously working your breath to bypass the mind and enter a different state of awareness. This is what most people seek when meditating, and breathwork takes you to that place very quickly. The practice gives the brain's executive functioning something to focus on, so you can bypass the mental level of consciousness and drop into a deeper state of consciousness where healing, spirit, and love reside. Now, because there are so many Christians that seem to be advocating that breathwork is harmless and actually very helpful to their health, I wanted to make this video to examine the possible dangers of this practice. So what's so bad about breathwork? As with any practice that promotes health and well-being, we need to examine its roots. Much like marijuana is called the gateway drug to harder drugs, breathwork can be the gateway practice that leads to yoga, which then can lead to Eastern mystical practices, which can lead to demonic influence. Now, I know many Christians will say, I know the difference between the Hindu religion and just breathing as an exercise, but I know that it helps me, so it's okay. But we must also understand that the enemy usually works to get people comfortable doing something that doesn't seem overtly evil, then warms them up to other practices which could lead them further from the Lord. So according to a breathwork website, as you breathe, you will become aware of thoughts, feelings, memories, and patterns that are not aligned with love and self-love. Even though many of us have processed childhood beliefs, patterns in psychiatry, therapy, coaching, or healing, breathwork offers an opportunity to release any energy that has been unconsciously residing in the body or energetic system. Once these energies are released, there is more space for your inherent life force to flow through you. Now, this all sounds very New Age to me, and I can see how something as simple as breathing can turn into believing things that are not biblical. You open yourself up to what the Bible calls philosophy and empty deceit, according to the tradition of men, according to the basic principles of the world, and not according to Christ. Colossians 2 verse 8. It goes on to say, how is breathwork different from meditation or yoga? Breathing practices are on the rise, and there is a reason why. Unlike meditation, where we are aware of our mental chatter, breathwork allows us to disconnect from the mind and reconnect with our body and energy. From this elevated state of awareness, we are able to heal, grow, and expand. Now, disconnecting from the mind sounds contrary to what Romans 12 admonishes us to do. Quote, "And do not be conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind, that you may prove what is that good and acceptable and perfect will of God." Romans 12, verse 2. In conclusion, just because something is popular or suggested by others to aid in our health and well-being doesn't always mean it's good for our spiritual health. We must always ask, does this practice lead to other practices that involve unbiblical ideologies? Will this practice bring me closer to the Lord or closer to the world? In the end, we must all answer to the Lord for the things done in the body. God bless.